Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another show for you today on Box Office City. The main event playground, I kept on saying before when I started YouTube, wasn't really the Mr. Box Office, but this is a show where I need to get some things off my chest because I am not happy at the moment. Yeah, I've said a lot of things over my time on YouTube, but I have to say this right now is that this club at the moment, even if we get relegated, I fear for its existence at the moment because we just seem to be making the same mistakes all the bloody time. And I've got to the point now where people don't want to listen to me because they think I make too much noise. But the fact is that I'm not a guy that just follows a crowd. Don't follow the people that say, just be happy, just go with it. I look at things and say, well, if it wasn't good when I didn't like it under Mourinho, when he came in and said that was the biggest mistake of Tottenham Hotspurs history, why am I going to like it when we're on the cusp of getting into that relegation zone? And the only reason why we're not in the relegation zone, Tottenham Hotspur I'm talking about, because I'm a Tottenham Hotspur fan, if you haven't guessed. If I'm not seeing the same difficulties and same mistakes that we're doing that we did back then, and I'm seeing mistakes that we're seeing now, and we're on the cusp of going into the bottom three in 3 weeks' time if West Ham beat Wolves before us, why should I be happy? And it comes from some of the rumours that have come out, which we're going to talk about on the show today. So incoming, unleashing, if you want to call it a rant. So stand by for that. So first thing I need to speak to, thank you for everybody who's watching. If you are watching, stand by. Because this ain't going to be and if you're on a very difficult position, I ain't going to be nice. And there's some people that are going to be called out as well, because we need a hard conversation. We need a very hard conversation. So welcome to the show. And as always, I'm just going to get straight into it and let them know. First thing I need to talk about is the lead position. What we saw against Nottingham Forest. Now, I said like a mug we could get a draw out the game. I said a mug, yeah. Because I thought with all the activities that the fans were doing, I was sitting there thinking, well, you can't let down the fans right now. You've had a conversation with Change for Spurs that, stop the protests, because that's what we do. We're too nice. We're too being, with a nice set of bunch of fans. We don't go for the heated decision making or option of protesting. We just think, well, you know what? Let's cheer the players that have let us down, the players that have done a points per game recent times since the start of the year, by the way, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, of 0.38. The worst team in the Premier League by form since January. The worst team in Europe with 45 defeats. And what we do is, we need to give them a little bit of confidence. We need to give them a little bit of confidence, a little bit of cheering, a little bit of goodwill. So we need to give them some confidence to beat Nottingham Forest that haven't even won this year, I don't think. Well, I think they've won this year in Europe, but haven't won under this manager. What good did it do? What good did it do? 13 defeats since Crystal Palace, down, and we're lying above West Ham just by a point, if I'm wrong. And that's us being cheerleaders to try and get these players up for it. Much good did it do for Romero when he went forward and then walked back like a slow tortoise. That's our captain, by the way. Our captain. And people laughed at me. You're not laughing now, Jules, aren't you? Big up to you. Duro Diaries, if you want to know. You're not laughing now that I said he's captain material, Danzo, aren't you? You're not laughing now, aren't you? You're captain of the ship, Romero. Romero did absolutely nothing again. But because he's won trophies, oh, no, we can't say anything, can we? But now people are starting to jump on the whole thing about Danzo that I told you about last year. And again, I'm supposedly negative, but I championed Danzo, saying at least Danzo's consistent. He might be might not be the best, on the eye, not beautiful defender. He might not be good with his feet, but he gets the job done. He gets the job done. Yeah. That's the point. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that the fans did what they did there. Cheer, did a parade. Let's just call it for what it is, a parade, because everyone's making fun of us right now. It did nothing for us. It did absolutely nothing for us. What happened was the fans left earlier. And yeah, I don't blame him. I stayed. I was there. You saw me. You saw me at the game. You saw me after my match review, post-match reaction. I was there to the end, yeah. I'm supposedly an Arsenal fan. An Arsenal fan, I'm told. But I stayed. I stayed. And watched that absolute rubbish. When people were telling me that I'm just doing it for clicks and likes, I stayed. Watching that absolute rubbish. Watching Archie Gray, I told was the next second coming, but oh yeah, look what happened. First thing I do need to say is thoughts and prayers out to Igor Tudor. It's the most worst thing that's happened. I won't say any more on it, that he lost his dad, his father. First thing there. I won't change. We have to respectfully part ways. And from what we've seen from the rumours, we're going to part ways from him. Now, for me, it ain't going to make no difference. I think we're getting relegated. When you're talking all those facts, what I've just told you about, and since the Conte rant, by the way, 22-23 season, our points per game was under 1.0. So this has been a decline for a very, very long time. So happens your main event, your Professor of Truth and Entertainment, never was on board with any manager since Poch. Never was. Never was. Because why should I? Why should I be on board with this absolute rubbish? Why? Nothing was proven. Nothing was shown. And then all I hear from Tottenham fans is, we need to get Ange back. Or to those Tottenham fans that say this to me, the Tottenham fans that say this to me, say this in WhatsApp groups and everything else, are you going to take Ramos back? Sergio, are you going to take Ramos back? He won us a trophy. He won us a trophy. He won us the League Cup against Chelsea, by the way. Chelsea at their best, by the way. Not downhill like Manchester United. Not like Manchester United at their pomp. At their pomp. We had Ledley King in that game. We had Woodgate. We had Berbatov. We had Keane. Would you take any of those players right now? I'll take them back right now. Quality. Quality. That's what I say. Quality. That's the thing. Quality at its best. Would you call Richarlison quality? That below average Emil Heskey? No. I wouldn't go near him. I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. But he's our best player in terms of working hard. I'm now looking at it saying, at the moment, a Højbjerg in that midfield would have done well for us in that midfield. But we've got a sort of similar sort of player to like Gallagher. But we don't play him. We don't play him. But what we do is get the below average Harry Winks in Archie Gray. That's what we do. We champion him. We champion Sarr, who's just an athlete, who's no better than bloody Gallagher. And I'm even now hearing rumours about there's things going on behind the scenes with the players and the manager in terms of the fact that Van der Ven might have just come off because there might have been a bit of a barmy in the changing room. It wasn't because of tactics. It wasn't because of tactics. And then people call me negative. People call me negative. And this is after a week, like last week, where people were saying, oh, you know what? After 2 results against Liverpool, 1-1, and the win against Atletico Madrid, even though we lost overall, Tudor's got to tune out these players. You know what? We need to keep him. And I was just saying, it's right on cue. Right on cue. Tottenham fans doing it again. 2 performances that have no pressure. And look what happens. We all turn. The week before, get rid of Tudor. And I was on that as well. I was on it as well. I was like that as well. I was saying Tudor out. With respect to what's going on with him right now. I said I wanted someone like a Harry Redknapp. To people's credit, we could be going for somebody like a Chris Hughton, maybe, possibly. That's been the rumours as well today. As well as the former Monaco manager as well. But my problem is, and this is why I'm saying this is an absolute mess at the moment, Tottenham fans. The reason why I'm not happy is that we're making the same mistakes. What was my thing that I said at the beginning, why I've not believed in this club right now since Poch? Identity, a plan. I knew from that very moment, and I'm going back then when Poch got sacked, I knew we made the wrong decision because I knew Mourinho was not the sort of guy that we needed at that time. We needed somebody that was similar to Poch. And that really comes back to the whole thing about director of football. Who's the director of football then? Someone needs to remind me in the chat because I can't remember what it was, but he was very much a guy that was very much not liked in the fan base whatsoever. I didn't like him either. But since Paul Mitchell left and then Poch left, it's gone completely downhill because we didn't have a plan. We didn't have a setup where we had a director of football where he has somebody that was really fundamental main guy in the top. And since then, we've just been up and down, up and down, up and down. And as we know now, it's gone downhill since Conte. The stats show it. Points per game, we've been terrible in terms of below 1.0, 0.96. And that's correlated since Kane's left, which is why I gave Rain credit for that point about Harry Kane. When he left, the goals dried up in terms of I mean, we did score a lot of goals under Ange. Yes, we did. But in terms of the way that we were conceding lots of goals as well, and that's been a big problem. It's been a massive problem this season. But what I'm trying to get to the point is that we've been linked with Sebastian Kell. Now, my problem with this is that why are we looking at somebody when and why are we looking at a director of football when we don't even know what division we are in? Firstly, number one, and two, what is the plan? What is the identity? You're going to keep Johan Lang at the club? Are you going to keep Vinay at the club? You're going to stick with the system of two directors of football? Are you going to keep the people that you've already employed already that have been the result of us being in the position we're in now? How can you tell me that the decline isn't going to get any worse? Since Johan Lang's come in, we have declined massively. Now, him going ain't going to make any difference. Ain't going to change anything. It ain't gonna make any difference, in my opinion, because you still have the same setup. You might still have another director of football who does the youth, and still have some director who goes for more main players that are experienced. You might go for that sort of still system. But my point is, what is the plan? What is the plan going forward? Are you still going to be trying to compete on all fronts in the Championship if we go down? Or are you still going to compete on all fronts if we stay up? What is the way that you want to play? So you can identify the sort of managers you need. So what is the program for Kell if he comes in? Is he just there just to fit into the system that we've got? And for me, that's just that for me defeats the object of a director of football. Firstly, you need to have an identity. You need to have a plan. You need to have a forefront of what you want to do in the next 5 years. Secondly, then you bring the people in that can fulfill that's the philosophy. So, for instance, Saraf Ragnick, if you want to play Gavin Stein football, pressing football, very high team pressing football, you've got Ragnick. And Ragnick can find a structure in place to make sure that's fulfilled. Then find coaches that can fulfill it. So if it does go wrong with one coach, you can go and get another coach that can do the same thing and maybe give a different perspective, but do the same sort of football and then play players the same in their right positions so they can prosper and get better within that system and feel confident. At the moment, when you get him Sebastian Kell in, he might have some good things. He might have some bad things. I've seen some things that I've seen before. But what is his remit coming to Tottenham? If he's just doing the same thing that Pratigi's doing, what's the point? We're going to have a mismatch of what we're going to get. He's going to be working with Johan Lang or somebody else that might have different ideas. He might not like the manager that we're looking at, because at the moment we're rumoured to De Zerbi as well. And for me, that for me is a disaster, because the manager doesn't know this director of football. The director of football doesn't know the manager. You don't know if they're going to get on. They might get frustrated, and if we do get De Zerbi, again, I've got no opinion on it at the moment. I just think it's wrong appointment right now, and even in the start of the season, because we don't have a plan. We don't know what identity we've got. We don't know what we want. So if it goes well next season or so, we might get 10th or 9th, mid-table. Then the following season, he might want more players. So what is the identity and what is the plan going forward? Because if he's not happy with the players and he ups and leaves, or we sack him because he hasn't got good results, what happens next? What happens next? We'll be back to square one again. My point is that the main big thing at the moment for me is the director of football. Big clubs like Arsenal's, Man City's, now you've got Brighton, you've got Brentford. They've got a structure, they've got directors of football that know what the system is. They know what they want to do, they'll know how to play, and that's why they get the right sort of players in. That's why they get the right sort of managers in. De Zerbi was only good because Brighton did their research and found him when they knew that Graham, the last manager, left. Graham Potter left. They already had somebody in place that they knew what they wanted. They already knew. And that's because they have a system in place where they make sure they're prepared for if a manager does go, they know where to go and get the next manager. And that's why they get a lot of plaudits. I'm not got any feeling towards this at the moment. I know exactly what was going to happen. If we get De Zerbi in and we get this director of football in, they won't know each other whatsoever. And they'll be doing it for public, and that's it. And what will happen is De Zerbi will have a bit of a rant and say, "Oh, you know, this is what's happening. You know, I'm not happy with the players that I'm getting." And then after a year, we've been together, he'll throw his toys out the pram, he'll go, and then we'll be back to square one again. And the worst thing is this could be in the Championship. I'm not saying he'll be here, but that's it. It'll be the same with Robbie Keane. He'll be happy just to get on with it. But what is the plan? What is the plan? There's my frustration at the moment. And that's why we're in this predicament at the moment. Points per game low. It just gets ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. And I've got to the point now where I don't know what else to say anymore. And that's why I don't care that much at the moment. That's why I don't care if we get relegated at the moment. Because, yeah, I know the ramifications, yeah. But they don't seem to know the ramifications because they're making the same mistakes all the time behind the scenes. Johan Lang, Vinay. They're making the same mistakes that Daniel Levy made as well, who is culpable as well. This is why we've got the squad that we've got. We're relying on youngsters. While the results have gone downhill for a long time now. And yeah, there's other clubs that might be worse off right now. People are having a go at Liverpool at the moment. But Liverpool have got standards. You know from the bottom dollar right now that they'll be looking at other managers right now for Arne Slot, saying this ain't good enough. If you don't get Champions League, they'll get rid of Arne Slot. They'll stick with the strategy of the way they're playing. And make sure they keep the sort of style that they've got at the moment. So they don't have to change things too much. Get better players in that they've got right now that suit their system. But I'm frustrated. I'm very frustrated at the moment. It's not a case of I'm frustrated at the moment. You know, I'm frustrated with the way that things are going at the moment. I'm frustrated the way that the fan base are talking at the moment. I call out people like Danny Kyriakou. Listen, he knows why I'm calling him out, because he said something on Sava's show that really got to me. Because he said on that show, that I'm not going to talk about, you know who I'm talking about, Sava's friend, best friend. He said, I don't care. For what did I say on that show that guy mocked me for? I don't care. And now all of a sudden now, he's saying the same thing like I am saying. Hypocrite. Hypocrite. All hypocrites. Sorry, I just got to the point now where I can't get away from my tongue anymore. You know, you caught me out saying that I was talking enough nonsense, saying I don't care. But why should I care when stats are coming out? Stats are coming out 0.96 points per game since that Conte ran against Southampton. Seriously, 0.38 since the start of January, points per game. 0.38. And people saying, oh, what can we do to try and save our club right now from relegation? Maybe change that stat for a start. Change the fact that we're the worst team in the Europe, worst team in the Premier League by form. Start of the year. Not won a game in the league. Including Archie Gray, I'm not going to just put him out, Romero, Van der Ven, Poro, I said I would sell him. I still sell him tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm done with him. I'm sorry. Spence, Adoji, who can't do anything in the final third again, is always not fit. Vicario. Sarr. All of them not good enough. Tell, Alderbear. Not good enough. Solanke, Mwani. Mwani only needs to do one thing and everyone jumps up and down and saying, oh, we should keep him over for another season. The guy's been a waste of space. And then all I hear from Tottenham fans saying, oh, well, I don't know if the players are going to be on top of this, are going to be up for another manager. I couldn't give a monkey's what you think. You've caused this with the form that we've had for how many years now? 45 defeats. 45 defeats over 2 years. All facts, no feelings. And it just comes to the point where I sit there and say, what can, there's not much to say, but put the stats in front of you. Just put the stats in front of you. And there you get it. There you have it. This wasn't on Igor Tudor. This wasn't on Thomas Frank. This wasn't on Ange Postecoglou, if you can believe me. This was on Enoch. Making the wrong decisions. Not being playing well. Being more of a business than a football club. And being on business time than being a football club. And now we're paying for it. And that's why I say we deserve to get relegated. So I've accepted it. Because the stats are telling me that I should accept it. Saying I can't refuse to accept it is only being just delusional right now. And that's why I say the players have to prove themselves. That's why the manager has to prove himself. Change those stats, change those numbers. That's the only way you can change my mind. And show me what I can see. Show me. Because It's only going through. I'm only looking at make believe things and saying this is terrible. I'm not changing narrative here. It's just it is what it is. It is what it is. Big up to everybody in the chat, by the way. Big up to everybody in the chat who's watching, by the way. Big up to Del Meets World. Big up to you. Big up to you. As a QPR fan, let me be first to welcome you to the championship. Big up to you. Yeah, thank you for the banter. I've already accepted it. Did you attend the? No, I didn't. I didn't do that. No, because I don't believe in it at all. Big up to you, though. Big up to you. Romero is not our problem. Well, I don't agree. I think Romero is a problem as well because yeah, we need to get better. I think we need to get better and let him go. I think that's the point. But we need to get somebody who can replace him and do a better job than Romero. Yeah, he has his qualities, yes, but you know he's for me, you know, he's not consistent enough. That's why I like Danzo more. To be honest with you, Mega. But big up to you. Big up to you as well. Our strikers don't have and never pose a threat. Yep, absolutely. Didn't cause a threat to Nottingham Forest whatsoever on Sunday. It's the same sort of game I've seen for Tottenham for a long time. Being at the stadium, it's the same sort of pattern. That's the thing. Jamie, big up to you. The games are well watchable. Yep, not even the highlights because there are none. Yeah, well, I've been watching the full games to get a context to it. When I don't miss the games, I always go and watch a full game to get a context to it. And to be honest with you, it makes you fall asleep. It makes you fall asleep. It's very, very difficult to watch. Very difficult to watch. Big up to Rodney Martin. Big up to you. Big up to all you coys. Yeah, lounge out, in it out. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Javi comes back in. Richarlison needs to be back and practice his Bonjo. Well, the thing is, though, the problem is with Richarlison is that he doesn't. It takes him so long to score a goal. You know, it has to be perfect for him. You know, the amount of chances he had against Liverpool, and like I said in my video after the game, reacting to the game, for me, he doesn't. He should have had a hat trick. He should have had a hat trick. The chances he had were not. It's not good enough. The fact that he didn't do anything. It's not good enough at all. So, you know, but all of them have been terrible. And like I said, Harry Kane and Son have really carried us. They've carried us. The facts are telling us that. The facts are telling us that. Yeah, we did do well under Ange, scored a lot of goals without Harry Kane, yeah. But we did have Brendan Johnson as well, who was bang average, by the way, and who's not really done that much at Crystal Palace, I've got to be honest as well. But that was because of the system that we played. And, you know, the gun-ho tactics that he did, that's the only reason. And it wasn't quality football that we saw again with Ange Postecoglou. I was there watching him, and I never felt, yeah, it was exciting if you want to watch, exciting for the mutual, yeah, but it wasn't great. And the fact is, though, you know, since the Chelsea game, it went downhill. It went massively downhill. The stats show you that, the graph shows you how it went downhill from there. You know what I mean? So there's not really much you can say on that, really, to be honest with you. But big up to you. Big up to you, Porsche D5B. Big up to you. We should all out for Neil Warnock to be at the helm. Well, I don't disagree with that. I say, because that's worse than bloody Sean Dyche. I would say I would take Harry Redknapp. I'd take Ryan Mason. That's an idea for somebody else, I have to say, and I've just warmed to it. Again, I'm clutching at straws right now. I don't really care. For me, we're down. We're down. The stats are telling me that. I've accepted it. The only reason why we're not in the bottom three is because of West Ham and, let's be honest, the Leeds have let us off. They've let us off. Really, they should have done more to get out their trouble and put us more into trouble, really, and put us in that relegation zone. So that's the problem. And let's be honest here, last season we got lucky again. We got lucky again. Right, we can all say that we all focused on the Europa League last season. Cool, we got the job done. But that 17th position was terrible, right? I will never, ever be happy with a 17th position. It was an absolutely awful season. And just because we won Europa League, yeah, we had our moment. We had our moment in the sunshine, yeah. But I'll be honest with you, it was absolutely awful to watch Tottenham, and it just was depressing to watch. And let's be honest here, the way that we won the cup, it wasn't like pretty, and that was because of well, we all know why. We all know why we won that cup anyway. We all know why who was really influencing that cup anyway. It was more to do with Romero and Van der Ven. Yeah, we can give credit to Angie, he steered the ship, but the tactics were more on Romero and Van der Ven. And we can see that because of what happened at Forest. Let's be honest here, with Ange Postecoglou, the third season that was told that it was going to be better than the second season. But she comes back in here saying the managers mentioned are never going to manage in the Championship. Neil Warnock should be appointed. For me, I don't think Will Warnock is the right guy for me. I just don't think he's the right guy at all. But even in saying that, even me saying that at the moment, I don't know who's the right guy at the moment. For me, it's not even about the manager. It's about the director of football. It's about the behind the scenes. It doesn't matter whether you have how many coaches you have. You have to have the right director of football to get the right the coaches in to get the best out of the players. That's the point. A coach doesn't stay that long. I know we've seen that with Pep Guardiola. We saw it with Klopp. We've seen it with Eddie Howe. But Eddie Howe didn't have a director of football there at Newcastle. So the main guy is the manager there. The coach is the main guy at Newcastle. The whole point at these clubs like Brighton, Brentford, Fulham, they've got a good setup where they don't have to worry about the coaches. Whether the coach goes, they can get somebody in who's similar to what they were playing before. That's from having an identity. That's been my point all along. That's why I'm not all for this Sebastian Kell, because why are we getting him in for? What is the remit for him? Is he just there to just replace Paratici? And look how that worked out with Paratici. Paratici wanted to have full control. Again, I don't rate Paratici. I don't think he was cooking at all. But from what I know from Paratici, he knew what the role was as a director of football. No, he might be good, very good at what he does, Kell. But from what I see his record, he's very indecisive from what I've seen in terms of making decisions on managers and coaches, managers and players. So for me, I don't know if that's going to be working for us, because we don't need that sort of person in our club right now when we've got a very indecisive behind the scenes with Johan Lang and Vinay. That's been the problem. That's been the massive problem. So I don't know. I don't know really at the moment, I have to say. But big up to you. Big up to you, Mal Star. Big up to you. If you do go down, then can you see them selling your stadium and then renting it back? Maybe, possibly. I don't know. This is not a question for me. I'm not well tuned in that. I don't know. I wouldn't be able to answer that. I wouldn't be asked. I don't know. I don't think they'll sell the club. No. I don't think they'll sell the club. No. Whether they'll sell the stadium, I don't know. That's something that we have to wait and see. Just watch his space on that one, if it does happen or not. But for me, at the moment, I think the owners will stay. This is not really a case of them selling the club. I don't think they ever will do that. I don't think they would just a club. I just don't see a club just changing just like that. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. If I'm really honest with you, I don't see it just us, Enid selling the club. But what I do think is that they and this is where I fall back on what Sel says. I do think that they'll be forced to make football decisions. But from what I'm seeing so far, thus far, I don't think they're going to make the right decision here. They're just getting the flavour of the month. And Clell, this looks like the flavour of the month. He's just left his job at Dortmund and thought, well, yep, we'll pick him. But what's his remit? What is the plan? What is the identity? You've got to have that first, and then you can get the people in. But it just seems to me that we haven't done that. That's why we're having all these linked director of football, Dougie Ferguson. Dougie Freeman, I mean, why? What's the logic? If he's just replacing the Fabio Paratici, what is the point? What is the point? Too many cooks for me. Making in the decision, too many. One person, one role that knows the role, then another person above him with sets his targets, and then you look for the coaches, the sort of coaches that fit the club, what their identity is. That's what you do. That's been the problem for a long time now. That's why it worked out with Frank Arneson and Yo, Harry Redknapp, and Pochettino and Paul Mitchell. But since then, it hasn't worked out. It hasn't worked out. And all these directors of football that have come in and have left the club, have spoken out about the club, have said it all. I haven't got a plan. Criticise the club. Because they weren't used to their strengths. And that's my problem at the moment. And I can't get on board with something that I haven't seen. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I've seen this before. I've seen this before, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. I've seen this before. And nothing's changing. Nothing is changing. But big up to you. But I hope that answers your question. I don't know about that question. I don't know whether they'll rent it out. I don't think they'll sell the club. If you ask me, I don't think the owners will sell the club. No, I think it'll stay. So do we go down from here? Yeah, absolutely. Because we're the worst team. We deserve to go down. And I think we are going down. The only reason why we're going down, Rodney, is because we're not in the bottom three is because of West Ham at the moment. But I think the other teams like Leeds, Nottingham Forest, yes, they beat us on Sunday. They well deserved the victory. Yeah, absolutely. But let's be honest, Nottingham Forest should have got more points on the board right now. They should have got more points. They deserve points. They should have beaten Fulham last week. Only by a hair of offside. That was it. West Ham should have beaten Bournemouth. I should have had more points than us as well. But they didn't do it. So, yeah, I think we're going down. And I don't get... Danny came, you must care. Yeah. Well, I'm not there with that at the moment. Big up to... Like I said, I'm not there. Big up to everybody who's watching right now. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody who's watching in the place right now, and please like and subscribe to the show because I know you lot watch. And you don't. You're not helping your boy. You need to help your boy. If you want to see me more, you need to help me. You need to help me. You need to subscribe. You need to like and subscribe to the show. That's the only way we can get the movement going. I can call out these people. I can call out the likes of Spurs Talk Show, Sean Butler. I can call out these people. I'm seeing people talking that were calling us all negative out there, saying, oh, well, you do this, you do that, you do this. And by the way, to those people that talk about me behind their backs, by the way, yeah, the reason why I call out Sean Butler is because there's history, right? Sean Butler, when he started YouTube, was completely different to what he was now. He wasn't this egotistical guy. He wasn't. Yeah, just so we can just get that absolutely clear, right? One thing I will say about Sava's never changed on YouTube. He's always been the same, yeah? He might get on my nerves sometimes, but one thing I will say for Sava, yeah, he's not changed. For some reason or another, we do think the same alike for some reason. It's not because I watch him a lot. No, I don't. That's not the case at all, because I've got my own mind. That's one thing I will say. Right? I don't listen to people and then I only listen to certain people that have got logic, and I hear it and I think, okay, cool, fair enough. But one thing I will say about Sean, he is not the same that he used to be. Right? I had to be in between him and Stell one time. Right? Them talking about, and I was like, okay, cool. Right? He went one way, still stuck with me. So before anybody starts saying, oh, well, you just cried about him because he's... Nah, I knew him when he was small. Like, you know what I mean? Now I've seen a lot of changes in him. Like, so that's why I don't like the guy at all. I don't trust him whatsoever. Right? So that's why. Right? Because if you can do dirty on this boy like that, he ain't worth knowing. He ain't worth knowing. That's the reason why I do it. Yeah, so that's why if people want to start, and you can clip this whatever you want to say, but this is why I say what I'm saying. Yeah? If I don't know you, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's different. That's a different matter. Like, so certain people that I haven't really come across, I don't really chat to, that's fine. But when you're in my presence and then we get into conversations and stuff, and then, I'm actually there for you, and then you do me dirty, you think I'm just going to let that go? No. You know what I mean? And he's now not letting me on his show because he says I don't stick on topic. Cool. So that's for business reasons. So you really are a Spurs fan then, really, doing it for business reasons then. You know what I mean? So you just show me what you're all about. Money. That's all you're saying to me right now. So don't talk to me about loyalty or whatever, bruv. You know what I mean? Yeah? You're not showing me anything at all. Yeah, that show was a joke. Yeah, I did enjoy it to a little bit, but then the whole thing with James and all that was a joke. Then I had Danny there, who's supposed to be supporting his boy. He didn't do that. He done me dirty again. And since then, he hasn't spoke to me. What a surprise when I was there for him. You know what I mean? So that's where I had to let it go. And I'm sorry, I had to put this out there. I had to put it out there. Because this is what's happened to this football club and the fan base. We're so divided at the moment. And then people say we need to be together. Well, it ain't going to happen. Because agendas are still happening right now at the moment. Agendas are still going on. Agendas are still, we can't, there's no one's really coming together because, we're only doing it for ourselves, and that's it really for me. And yeah, you can say whatever you want about that parade, but it wasn't, that was the wrong thing to do. That was wrong. That was the wrong message to send out. Maybe that's in hindsight, I don't know. But let's be honest, it was the wrong thing to do. Because now we're getting laughed at by the rivals. We're getting laughed at. We're getting motts wherever we go. And while we're doing that, the club are doing the same things, making the same mistakes. Now, I'm willing for them to change my mind. I'm willing for them. But they have to prove it. They have to prove it. And I don't like the fact that people are having a go at Still. I don't like it. The reason why Still's just passionate. He just does it in his own way. Now, if you agree with it, you agree with it. If you don't agree with it, you don't agree with it. That's the way it is. He's just the way he is. Sometimes I don't agree the way he goes about things, but that's that's the way he is. But if you want to talk to him about it, talk to him about it. Make yourself known. But that's the point. The club is in the doldrums at the moment. Hard conversations need to happen right now. Hard conversations need to happen right now. And that's what I'm doing right now. I ain't here to be nice anymore. I ain't here because my football club are in the gutter at the moment. I've accepted being relegated. We could be relegated this season. I've accepted it. Whether you take that, what you take from my opinion, that's fine. That's up to you. But I am not happy. I'm accepting it right now. But I have to accept it because that's the reality we're looking at the moment. That is the reality. But big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Big up last, at least Arsenal bottled the cup. First, must make you happy. Well, it was more relief. More relief, Anthony Clark. More relief. That's all I can say. More relief at the moment. You know? Wasn't that much, it wasn't a lot to say on it, really, but more relief. I can't banter Arsenal fans at the moment. They're second in the league. They've got the same amount of points as Manchester City over the last 2 years. Well, since Conte left, I had that rant. They've got the same amount of points per game. Well, points that over that period than Man City. So it shows you the trajectory of Arsenal going up there, and us just going down here. Facts. Again, this is credit to Sava. This is not what my doing, putting those facts together. It's Sava putting it together. So I can't say it's me. Stiligation, big up to you. Big up to you. We are Spurs TV. Big up to you. I want a team, decent team, management, and bro. Big up to you. Levy, Lange. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd get rid of them, all of them, to be honest with you. Get rid of all of them. I've had enough of them. I've had enough of them completely. We made a mistake. Oh, no, Sonny leaving, not replaced. Yep, absolutely. Selling Johnson. You know what? I don't rate Johnson, but the thing is, though, selling Johnson and not having a replacement for him, Lookman was there for you completely, and you didn't take it. You didn't take it. Don't know what else to say there, to be honest with you. Don't know what else to say. Miss Bunny, we can get the best DF in the world, but unless we are going to change the wage structure, nothing will change. Absolutely. I think everyone's right on this one. I think everybody's right on this one at all. Like, the fact that, the wage structure, but it's back to the identity and the plan. What is the plan, Bunny, Miss Bunny? What is the plan? If you don't have a plan, what do you want? What can you expect? This is the point I make. It's like you can't just. This is why I'm fuming at the moment. I'm fuming because it just seems like we're doing this scattergun approach again. Oh, he's available. Flavour of the month, Kel. Let's go and get him. Oh, let's get the Zerbi in because he's available at the moment. So what's the plan with him then? What will keep him happy here? What is the plan with him? And what if it happens if he has his rant and goes off? Throws his toys at the plan. What happens then? Are we going to do the same thing we did with Frank? Not make a decision on him? And just keep things the way it is? What happens to the players? What sort of players does he want? What sort of players is Kel going to get in? What's the strategy? Are we still going to keep Lange? Or do this two-man director of football? I don't get it. That's why I'm fuming, because we're not learning. We're not learning at all. And all I hear from Tottenham fans is, just support the club. I'm not supporting bad decisions. I'm not doing that. Sorry, I'm not doing that. Big up to Terry. Right, big up to you. If we go down sales, I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to say, but Mr. Buddy, I think you're absolutely spot on there, to be honest with you. Big up to you. Big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to who's making comments. Big up to you. Big up to everyone who's watching the show at the moment. It's really, really appreciated at the moment. Please like and subscribe to the show. You really will help the show if you do that. And also it gives you more ammunition to start calling out people as well, because I've got tired of it. I'm tired of it. I'm absolutely tired of watching the same old thing. These committee meetings on these shows. I'm fed up of it. I'm fed up of it now. I'm fed up with what I saw. I know when we have our next win, all I'm going to hear is, oh, we're back now. We're back. After one win. We saw it against Liverpool. I was like, oh, right on cue, Tottenham fans. Right on cue. Not to mention we've had such bad form the last how many weeks. But, I praise something and it's like, well, I'll say, well, he was okay. Archie Gray, that was one. Tell, okay. Still bang average, though. He did score against Crystal Palace and we did win. But since then, we've lost every single game. We've not won. We've not won in the league. Tell, we've not won. So, what do you expect? What do you expect at the moment? What can you expect? I don't know. Yeah, big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to Ian It Out. Big up to Sue Smith. Big up to you. The real one. Big up to you. Because you always support all the channels. Big up to you. And big up to you supporting the channel as well. Big up to you. And also hype the video as well, hype the channel as well, hype it up, because that's the only way that this can go forward as well. Big up to you as well. Big up to you. Big up to Terry Wright. If the club gets relegated, it will be a long road back to the Premier League, and the club may never be the same. Financial losses will be devastating. But the problem is, Terry Wright, is that they knew this. They knew this. They should have known this already. They're finance, they're business people. That's not for me to know. I don't need to know this. It's not my job. If it was my job, pay me. It's not my job to know this. It's their job to know this. It's their job to know this. That's why they deserve to get relegated. They haven't done their job properly. So them doing this is only causing even more problems. The fact is, it's on them. They should have sacked Frank sooner. Not saying Frank was the problem, no. But they should have sacked Frank sooner if there was problems behind the scenes and they had doubts on him. They should have sacked him. Should have somebody in place already to get him in. Whether it was Igor Tudor, well, it looks like that's not going to happen now because he's done now at Tottenham. So they should have had a plan. This is the thing. And this is what directors of football, these senior directors, should have that, contingency plans. That's what they should have done. But they didn't do it. So this is on them. This is on them. They knew the consequences of, being relegated. They knew it. They know it. But they acted slowly. They didn't act like someone that was urgency. And that's what's happened to the team. They didn't act urgency in the transfer window. January transfer window. Summer window. So we were quick for 4 competitions this season. We didn't do it. Now look at us now, 17th. Don't need to say any more, really. Hello, everybody. Yeah, big up to you, Lee. Big up to you. Big up to Tells. Big up to you. This is getting interesting. Big up to you. You're only one that stands up to other channels and you speak your mind instead of copying other people say. Big up and come on, you Gunners. Oh, well, I'm not going to agree with you on that one, Gunners part, because I'm not a Gunner. I'm not a Gunners fan, no. Hopefully, you do bottle it again. But big up to you, though. Big up to you for watching. Big up to you. Big up to all the rivals that are watching right now. Big up to you. But yeah, just like I said, it is what it is. It is what it is at the moment. Absolutely. Absolutely. At the moment. It's one of those things where, I don't know. It's frustrating. It's frustrating at the moment. Very frustrating at the moment. I'm seeing now people talking about, oh, we won a trophy under Ange and all that, and we should never have sacked him. It's done and dusted now, and we move on. I'm fed up with talking about him now. I'm fed up with talking about it. I really am fed up with talking about it. I don't know. It's a sad indictment. It's a sad thing. It's a sad what's going on with our football club at the moment. It's a really sad thing at the moment with our football club at the moment. And yeah, that's why I'm upset. That's why I'm not happy at the moment. And that's why I'm doing this at the moment. I like this comment. If I'd go for Kieran McKenna. I mean, again, this is another one where I big up to you, Scott Spur. Big up to you. I hope you're doing well. I mean, when I think about that, I think about, well, you could go for that sort of player, sort of manager, but what is the plan again? What is the plan? If it doesn't go right with him, if he doesn't get results, what happens? Again, it goes back to the whole thing about director of football. Director of football, philosophy, identity, and plan. What happens? That's what Brighton have got. That's what Brentford have got. You're not saying to me that Keith Andrews is a good manager right now. You're not telling me that. I'm not convinced. If I'm really honest with you, loads of girls, I'm not convinced. I think he's just got a good setup that helps him. And that's what Thomas Frank had. Good setup. That could be the same with De Zerbi. Good setup. And that's what we need. We need a good setup. I think that helps a manager a lot, make them look good. Backs them up. Because we're not in that era of football. The reason why I quit Guardiola is that I've been at Man City for so long, because he had Tika Gavestein there. He's the one that brought him in. He's been his main guy. His main guy around the club. He's helped him. Tiki, I can't remember. I can't say his name, but that's the guy. So I mean, this is why I say what I'm saying at the moment. Tottenham have to do a similar thing to what they're doing, what other clubs are doing at the moment, and that's the only way forward. Aston Villa have shown us why they've gone up like that, because behind the scenes you don't hear any turmoil. They know that their objective. They know their targets, their 5-year plan. They know their 5-year plan with with the hierarchy there and Emery. And that's why they're doing well. That's why they're doing well at the moment. It's quite simple. I don't think it's not about the manager anymore. It's not about the manager anymore. But big up to you, Scott. Big up to you. It just isn't about the manager anymore. For me, it's about the director of football. It's about who is the main guy. That's the main thing for me. That is the main thing for me. Absolutely. And yeah, it's frustrating for me at the moment. Very, very frustrating at the moment for me. YouTube is toxic, and I want real people too. Well, it is what it is, mate. The wet times coming for Spurs. Bad times are coming, and horrible for streamers. Well, the good times are coming for Spurs. The bad times are coming for the horrible streamers. Well, you know, you can say whatever you want, mate. It's like at the end of the day, big up to you anyway, Cartman Farming Simulator. Big up to you. But you know, like I said, it is what it is. You know, I'm just honest with what I see at the moment. And I've been honest for a very, very long time. You know, very long time. You know, and it gets to a point where I can't say any more than what I've said at the moment. I've said it enough. I've said it enough times about the club. They need to prove it to me, and they're not showing me anything. They're not showing me anything at the moment. You know, nothing's different to what I saw when we got in Mourinho that time. The only difference is we had Harry Kane and Son. Mourinho made Harry Kane and Son a quality strike force with Moura, Lamela. And I didn't rate Lamela and Moura at that time. I thought Moura was very frustrating. I'll take him back right now. I'll take him back right now. I'll take Lamela back right now. You know, I'll take all these players back right now because he ain't got any better. Tell's no better than him. And you're not telling me that Archie Gray's better than Harry Winks. You're not telling me that. What's the difference? The only difference is that Harry Winks was playing it sideways. That was it. Or backwards. That was it. Archie Gray still loses the ball. He's only had one decent game when there was no pressure. No one's telling me that Sarr is better than Sissoko. We said that we need to get rid of Sissoko. I would even make an argument. Is anybody better than Emerson Royale? Eric Dyer? We said get rid of Eric Dyer, solve our problems. I remember these conversations because I was on YouTube then. Talking to Irish Hotspur David Harris. It's one of those things. It's one of those things where I just get very, very frustrated at the moment. Very, very frustrated at the moment watching it. And like I said, I don't see anything changing, even if we go down, because I don't think that they might be planning for the when we get relegated. That's fine. But the way they're going about it, I don't know if it's the right way they're doing it. I don't know. I'm yet to be convinced by it. And it is very, very worrying. We do deserve to go down, and I'm accept it. But to Stell's theory at the moment, I don't know if they actually are going to do the football decision. I think they're going to make worse football decisions at the moment because I don't think they're going to get the right people in. That's the problem I have at the moment. Especially this whole thing about De Zerbi, going full out for De Zerbi. Who's going to be working with him? Who's going to be working alongside him? Is he going to get his full staff, or what we're going to do? Or we're going to have some staff from the club? What are we going to do? What is the plan? That's my issue at the moment. That is my issue. You know, I just don't see it. I don't see it at the moment. I really don't see it, and that's been my issue, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That is my issue. You know, I can't just change on a sixpence on this one because, you know, another plan's coming to roost at the moment. No, it doesn't work like that with me. I need proof. I need evidence. I need to see it, and I've not seen it. You know, I'm yet to be convinced. I've yet to be convinced, and that's the problem I have at the moment. That is the problem I have at the moment. Big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Big up to everybody who's watching. 35 of you. Please like and subscribe to the show. Big up to everybody who's watching at the moment. You need to like and subscribe to the show. Please do me a big favor, massive favor. Please like the show. Let me just see some likes. Let me see, because it really is appreciated if you can like the show. If you don't like the show, it doesn't really help. It really helps if you do like the show, because it then gets me out to loads of people as well. So if you can do it, it'd be really, really appreciated if you can do that, especially to this channel right now. Yeah, big up to you. 31 of you of the show. Brilliant. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing that. 31 likes. But yeah, we need to get more. We need to get more. Please, can we get more out there? Well, 35 of you in the show today. If you can all let's go, hype the show. It'd be really, really appreciated to get us out there. Because like I said, if you want me to call people out, I'm gonna do it. I ain't afraid anymore. I ain't afraid anymore. Like I said, I big up people that are, even people I don't agree with, like George. He was wrong about Archie Gray. I'm not changing my mind on it. He was wrong about certain players like Burval. I don't care for Young. Good enough. Ugly enough. They can play. That's the way it is for me. So, and but I'm willing to have that debate with him, and big up to him. I love George. He talks a little waffle, but I love George. Big up to him. This is a frustration for me at the moment. Emmanuel, he jumps on every single thing that goes good with Tottenham. Oh, you need to be positive. Big up to him, Bo. Big up to him, because he turns up. He'll turn up. But I know what he's like. He'll jump on anything positive, saying, "Oh, why are we being negative for? It's positive." One positive, mate. One positive doesn't make the whole thing go well for me. We're still rubbish. In the grand scheme of things, we're still worse than Wolves. So please don't tell me about being positive right now. And those things need to change. Those numbers need to change. Form needs to change. Table needs to change. Points per game needs to change. Next 7 games, and I just need to go into that right now. Next, how many games? Right, if I can get Tottenham's fixtures are up. So I think we're going to play a little game. We're going to play a game of how many wins do you think we're going to get out of the next 1, 2, right, okay, here we go. Here we go. Right, here we go. Right. Okay. I made it a little bit smaller. So I'm there. Right. So if you look at Tottenham's fixtures, next fixture in 3 weeks' time is Sunderland, away from home. Away from home. Right. So that's at 2:00 lunch afternoon. So we've got Sunderland away from home. We've got Brighton at home, Wolves, Aston Villa. Then we've got Leeds. Right, so I'm just getting that back. Yeah, right. We'll go back. Let's go back here. Here we go. More matches. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. There we go. Right, let's get it up here. Right, here we go. There's our fixtures here. Right, here we go. So we've got Sunderland, Brighton, Wolves, Aston Villa, Leeds, Chelsea, Tottenham. Chelsea, Everton, I mean, last day of the season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 games left. 7 games left. And I think we need 40 points. That's what I think we need. Right. So, how many points do you think we're going to get out of these 7 games, boys and girls? Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how many points do you think we are going to get in the chat right now. Big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. Who is going to by the way, big up to my man. Big up to my man, Ben Kaufman. Big up to him. Big up to him. Big up to him all day long. I haven't seen you a long time, bro. But big up to you, bro. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're doing well. I know he waffles sometimes, Ben, but you know, he got some good waffle. Some good waffles. You know what I mean? Especially at his coffee shop. Very good waffles right now. You know what I mean? You should support his channel as well. Big up to him. Big up to him as well, yeah? Big up to everybody as well in the chat, by the way. And be nice to him as well. Be nice to him in the chat as well. You know, I will make him a mod one day as well, because if he wants to be anyway. If he wants to be as well. But big up to him, because I know he's the best out there. You can call me out, Botsy. I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I love it. 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 You know, he knows exactly what a Mr. Box Office is all about. He knows exactly what he's all about. Big up to Duncan. Do not. Big up to you. Big up to you. Big up to all 40 of you. By the way, please like and subscribe to the show. We're 30 likes away, 31 likes. Come on, please, can we get it up to at least 40? 40 today, but it'd be really, really appreciated. Because like I said, we need to get the movement going. I've had enough. And trust me, I've got some things for people right now. So to the people that have got on my nerves, trust me, right? We got some things going on. Because we got 3 weeks to play with, Tottenham fans. We got 3 weeks to play with without Tottenham Hotspur. And you know what? Creative juices are going to be flowing on Mr. Box Office TV. So just keep tuned, because you know what? If you thought this was good, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing yet. And it's coming. It's coming. You know what I mean? To those people that have taken the mickey out Mr. Box Office, the main event, the Professor of Truth and Entertainment, their nightmare and everyone's guilty pleasure. And if you don't know, get to know. You know what I mean? Because we know what to do. You know what to do. You know what I mean? Because it's not like take your time with it. Because we've been taking our time going back down to the bloody championship the way it's going at the moment. Let's just be honest with yourself right now. But back to this, because I do get off topic sometimes. So I do apologise to those people, because I want to get back to this fixture list at the moment. So how many points in the chat do you think we're going to get at the moment out of those 7 games? Now, I'm looking at it right now. I don't think we're going to get any. I think we're going to get draws out of certain games. I think we'll get probably a draw out of Sunderland. I'm clutching. Brighton, draw. Maybe a draw, I think, at the moment. Wolves, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. We're losing to Aston Villa. We're losing to Chelsea. I think it's a draw against Leeds, I think. And Everton, at the moment, the way that Everton are playing away at the moment, I wouldn't be surprised if we lose. So I don't see any wins at the moment. That's the problem at the moment. I don't see any wins. So that's 1 point there, 1 point against Brighton. That's 2. Wolves, we get beaten, so no points. Losing against Aston Villa, so Leeds, draw, possibly. Lose against, so that's 3 points at the moment. So only 3 points. 3 points. That's down. That's us down. So, I mean, I'm not confident at all that we're going to get anything out of these games at the moment. I've got no confidence whatsoever that we're going to get anything at the moment. I'm confused. I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't know at the moment. I'm not confident at all. The only thing that I would say is at the moment, and I'm not going to just base it on Kudos coming back, because I'm sorry, I just don't think you can just base it on one player. I just don't think you can. Because I mean, at the moment, we don't even know what manager we're going to get at the moment. We just don't know at the moment. So, I mean, in the chat, what's your thoughts? So, what do you think? How many points do you think we're going to get at the moment? Oh, now let's see in the chat here. Let's see in the chat. 40 points ain't happening. Yeah, I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening at all. Terry, I don't think it is. Jeremy, even if the bottom feed up, teams loses, play us look like Real Madrid. Oh yeah, I know. Even the bottom feed up teams on the runs of losses play us and look like Real Madrid. Yeah, absolutely. Well, look at Nottingham Forest. They couldn't even win this season. They haven't won. I don't think they've won in the league since Pereira's come in. That was their first win. Took the Tottenham out again. Might get lucky with 3 points in 7, but I'm thinking just 1 point. Yep, absolutely. I think people almost say relevant for me. Tell could be out for a while with a calf injury. Well, it really does put us in the problem at the moment. It really does. It really does, because even though he's not that great, I'm not really. There's no point of. We haven't really got any players. The only thing that's good is that I think Kudos is coming back. Queen Ellie, you know what gets my nerves, Alex? Enid leading the fans who don't see through them, believe the BS. Yeah, absolutely, Ellie. Big up to the Queen Ellie. Big up to the Queen Ellie. Right, I've got to kneel down for Ellie. You know, honor. You ain't gonna see him a ball patch there. Honor the Queen Ellie. Honor the Queen Ellie. Queen Ellie. There we go. We are relegated. Doesn't matter what we do. Yep, absolutely. Draw against Sunderland. You must be smoking. You know what? The only reason why I'm saying this, right, is because I'm just clutching at the moment. I think Sunderland could beat us easily. I'll be honest with you. It's just a prediction at the moment. I've got no idea, but I don't think we're getting any wins. The point I'm making is, at the moment, I don't think we're getting any wins. That's the problem at the moment. I don't think we're getting any wins. That's why my problem at the moment is, Bots, you're dreaming. You are dreaming. Okay, so everyone's saying I'm dreaming against Sunderland. After doing champs, we're not winning another game. Well, to be honest with you, I don't think we're winning anything at the moment. That's the thing. So we're agreement pipes. Be up to you, by the way. And I did see a comment, by the way. Did see your comments in my comment section. So big up to you. We assume that will still be here. I think that's with respect, and I'm trying to say this in a respectful way. I think at the moment, I think they're looking at respectfully parting ways with him because of what's happened. And everybody knows what's happened, so I'm not going to go into that. We end up with 35 points, Forest 33, and West Ham 36. If Forest finish bottom and below us, they're terrible. They are terrible. And their midfield is better than us all day long. Yes, they weren't great against us. No, they weren't. It was two poor teams. But one thing you can say is their midfield in Anderson and Gibbs White, I'll take them all day long other than our midfielders at the moment. Honestly, class, quality. Footballers. 35 points. People thinking 35 points here. A fight we done. Yeah, absolutely. Jeremy says, strike on my kingdom and give Richarlison and Bonjo, practicing. Yeah, absolutely. But a lot of people are not convinced we'll give other teams hope to avoid relegation. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just think, I think that's the point. That's a good point there. That's a very good point there. Honestly. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show today. We're going to be wrapping up soon. Just impromptu show again by your boy, Mr. Box Office, the main event. I don't know if I'll do another show soon. Hopefully, I'll do one in the next couple of days or so. Watch up, keep your eyes peeled for more things on the channel, as I'm gonna be doing some creative stuff with the channel as well, in terms of people need to see what happens, because you ain't seen nothing yet, like they say. Big up to everybody who's watching, by the way. And big up to everybody who's subscribed. If you do, please subscribe to the show, because it will get me up to 2,000 subscribers. It really does help the show as well. But yeah, thank you for all watching the show. And on the day that Tottenham Hotspur are linked with another director of football, the only thing is, though, I don't think Tottenham Hotspur actually realise what is the actual plan and what's the actual identity of the club. Pointless, isn't it, getting a director of football? You ain't got that, isn't it? But, let's move on from that. On the day that we are linked with one manager in Houston, Chris Hughton, another manager in the former Monaco manager as well, and then De Zerbi, who threw his toys at the pram at Marseille and Brighton. And what happened with Conte? Just saying. And on the day that we get rivals bantering us for doing a parade rather than protesting to get Enid out our club. Just Tottenham Hotspur. And thank you to everybody who's watched around the world, and thank you for everybody who's taken part. And as always, as we wrap up this show, we say this: if you didn't know, get to know. Support your boy, Mr. Box Office. Subscribe and like. And come on, you Spurs. And we're out. Take care. Enjoy yourselves.